All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. We are super excited to be able to share with you today a really interesting topic. It's one of the keystone things that we all need to understand and know. And it's something that I can testify to because it worked on me. And that is this idea of the three-way call. And when I say it worked on me, I'll tell you back many years ago, I actually got, prospected, right? A gentleman reached out to me. He piqued my interest about something he was doing. And he said, I have this leader that I'd really like you to talk to. He's a millionaire and, he's very influential and he would love to talk to you, right? And because of what you're doing and he's noticed what you're doing. And so could we set up a meeting where you can talk to him? And, so he did all the right stuff. And I was so excited to meet with this gentleman because he was a millionaire, right? He'd been edified and it made me feel special that somebody of his caliber would want to talk to me and all of that. And so what we're going to share today, I know it works because it worked on me and I ended up, talking to him. I ended up joining that company and, and that guy ended up being a mentor to me. And so, yeah, super, super interesting how this actually works and you can implement it in what you're doing as well. So it is the three-way call, okay? And this is how it works. Three-way calling is basically this. Whoever does the most three-way calls wins, right? That's really what it comes down to, okay? This is traditional networking. There's some people who are all about online and digital and, they only want to do social media and paid advertising and stuff like that and funnel systems and all those things. And that's great. And it can work. But, if you want people to be sticky, if you want them to actually stay with you and work with you and everything, you actually have to talk to them, right? Funnel systems are great for the initial piquing of interest. But once you actually have their information, if you want them to stick around, if you want them to actually, duplicate and work with you, you got to talk to them, right? You got to call them. And so here's how you do it. This is the best way to do it. Instead of trying to do it all yourself, right? Use the three-way call because that will make sure that they not only stay around, but that they start to duplicate. Okay, so this is true for beginners and the most experienced people out there. Okay, so it has been observed that approximately 70% of those who enter a home-based business never share the business with a single soul. How crazy is that, right? How could this be? If you're going to start your home-based business, why would you not share it? Why would you not do it? Well, there's a reason, right? Lots of reasons, actually, variety of reasons. But the biggest and most common reason is fear. That's really what it comes down to, right? We're nervous. We're scared, okay? We just don't want to open our mouth because we're not sure what to say. We're not sure, we're afraid we're going to say the wrong thing, whatever it is, okay? Lots of reasons. So what are we fearful of? Of course, rejection, right? That they're going to turn us down. Maybe we're fearful of, I don't know, failure, right? Yeah, we're scared of failing. Okay, that's normal. Maybe we have a fear of lack of knowledge or lack of skill, right? Kind of like Mr. Scott here from The Office. I knew exactly what to do, but in much real sense, I had no idea what to do. Right? He said that. So, we're scared that we're not going to say the right thing, that we don't know enough about it, okay? Or it could be, that you're afraid of losing a friend because they're going to get offended, or, fear of sales. We don't like to sell people, whatever, right? There's lots of different kinds of fear. So what's the solution? Well, it really is the three-way call. It pretty well solves all of the problems I just mentioned, right? So let's find out why. It helps remove the fear of rejection. It helps remove the fear of failure. It helps remove the lack of knowledge, helps remove all that, lack of skill, losing a friend, all the fear of the sales, because now you get to depend on your leader, right? You get to depend on that third-party validation, somebody that's going to, be like Superman here, right? Blast through all that stuff. But how does that work? Well, because the three-way call transfers much of the burden to the leader. Okay, it's not about you and the prospect anymore. Now you get that third party that knows what they're doing. They know what they're saying. They've been through it. They've been edified and all of that. And it provides crucial validation. That's the key thing, right? Is, hey, so this is real? I was right that this actually works. And yes, that's the idea. Okay, it's not just you, it's now you and a third party, another person validating that what we're talking about is legit. Okay, so what's the best way to do it? Well, first thing is we got to have lots of respect, right? We always have to set an appointment with all of the individuals involved. We can't just out of the blue, right? Hey, hey, get on with me and we're going to call this guy, right? No, you can't do that, right? Respect, schedule it, right? Hey, we're going to do this three-way call. And of course, that's super important because the idea is that you want to edify the leader. You want to edify the person that's going to, to be presenting, right? And make sure that the prospect knows, wow, this person's an expert, okay? This person's been successful, this person, all of that stuff. Then, of course, that's what I'm talking about, is preparing your prospect, right? So the first thing is to pique their interest, make sure that they kind of have an idea of what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so you send a short introductory video. Hey, this is what it is. This is why I'm so excited, right? So, hey, can I get you on a call with this individual who's an expert and knows more about this than I do, who's been in the industry, who's had success, who is a master at whatever, that kind of stuff, right? And then, of course, we want to avoid trying to explain in advance or answer all the questions, even if we know how, even if we've done three-way calls, right? We're the leader ourselves and we know what to say. We don't want to do that, right? We want to take advantage of the third-party validation, okay? Don't try and spill all the stuff beforehand. Why? Because it sends the wrong message to your prospect, okay? So it's because of this. They may feel that they need to know everything before they can move forward, right? So that's what we want to avoid. So what's the best way to do a three-way call? So again, when we're introducing the leader, we want to build them up in your prospect's view. We want to edify them, okay? Just like the guy did years ago. He said, hey, this person that wants to talk to you is a millionaire. He's been successful in the industry. He's done all these things. And, he published a magazine and all that. And he wants to talk to you, right? Wow. It was a stroke of ego. It was, oh my goodness, a millionaire wants to talk to me. This is so cool, right? And I was excited to get on the call because they had edified this guy really well. Okay, so this will help your prospect to feel privileged to talk to someone that is important and successful, right? And then, of course, along with that is it also helps your prospect to listen, okay? Because we want them to know this person is so successful, so so awesome that they're also very busy. Okay, so we want them to make sure that they understand the time is limited, and let them know, hey, this probably be short, right? We're talking, maybe at the most 15-20 minutes, right? That's it. Because they're busy, they've got other calls to do, they're doing other things, so let's respect their time, let's make sure it happens, right? So what that does is it also makes sure that the prospect will be there, right? They won't blow you off. and just knowing, hey, it's going to be short, but it's going to be with somebody important, and so it's worth your time, don't miss it, and all that. Okay, so that's another key aspect of it. By the way, we never want to misrepresent the leader or discuss your or their income, right? I mean, one thing to say, in this case, the guy, oh, he's made $1 million in the industry. Okay, that's one thing, right? But you don't want to say, specifically, oh, he's making, $20,000 a month, that kind of stuff, right? No, but you can definitely edify that they've been very successful. Okay, and then of course you want to now call the prospect first, okay, and then call the leader, and before rejoining the prospect, orient your leader regarding the prospect, right? So you call the leader while the other person's kind of on hold, right? And you tell them, hey, this is who we're talking to. This is what they know. This is what they're excited about. So it's kind of brief. I mean, obviously no more than 10, 20 seconds of that, because you don't want the other person waiting too long on hold. But definitely orient the leader about the prospect. Okay, that way the leader can better tailor the information for your prospect. right? Or you could have done that previously, right? So then after that, you bring the leader in, okay, to the prospect, and then you take some time to actually compliment the prospect to the leader, right? And say, hey, this is so and so, and they're amazing, and I've known them for years. Or hey, I just found them on Facebook or whatever, and they're super excited. And so you just introduce them, edify the prospect as well, right, to the leader. And that will help them behave as you describe them, right? Because if you tell the leader, hey, yeah, this person's awesome and they're an entrepreneur and they're excited and whatever, then yeah, the leader's going to be like, oh, okay, cool. And the prospect's going to kind of be like, oh, yes, I am that, right? So that's important. And then, of course, let the leader take control of the call, present the information, answer the questions, right? That's why you brought them to the call. Let them do it. Let them present. Let them do it all. Okay. And your job is just to listen. But what that does is now you get to hear how the leader presents, right? And you pick up on little things that you could say in the future when you're doing the same thing for your people, right? Now they're calling you to do the three-way call, and you now know what to say because you heard it so many times. Okay. That's the idea. So you're being educated and trained as you do this. So the three-way call has so many purposes, right? It's not just, to create this third-party validation. It's also so you learn as, a new person doing this. So if you feel that leader missed something, right, then yeah, just ask a question, right? Don't correct them. Don't do anything. But, definitely say, oh yeah, hey, what about this, right? And the leader will go, oh, that's true. Yeah, there's this and this and this. I've done this so many times. It's great. I've got several on my team who are experts at doing this with me, and they will. If I forget something, which is normal, right? We don't always remember the right thing to say, or they might just remember, oh yeah, the prospect had asked about something, and could you tell them about this? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. And then you can go into it, right? So really good. And then, of course, as the leader, this is what you want to do. You want to be available, right? You want to make sure that, you tell all your team, hey, I'm available for three-way calls. I'm available to do this. I'm available, here's my schedule, right? So let me know. Let me know when I can. I'm available during the day. I'm available in the evenings. I'm available on the weekends, whatever it is. Let your team know that you're available. Otherwise, they might not know. And, obviously, you want to make sure that you've set aside some time, right? And it doesn't mean that every week could be different, right? Just make sure you let your teams know, hey, I'm available for calls during this week, usually during these times, right? And of course, it doesn't mean that they don't have to then schedule with you still, right? Doesn't mean they're just going to call you out of the blue, but yeah, you can definitely say, hey, usually in the afternoons, right? I'm available, so let me know. And then, of course, they'll schedule with you, hey, Tuesday at 4 work. Oh, yeah, that works great. And you schedule it, okay? So definitely be available. Then, of course, the next thing is be prepared by, becoming knowledgeable and skillful, right? So if you're going to be doing some three-way calls for your team, then yeah, you need to know what we're talking about, right? You need to know how we get paid. You need to know how the product works, how the system works, what it is we're doing, why you're excited. Maybe some testimonials, whatever it is. Then, of course, once you're online with the prospect, you want to speak highly of your team member, right? You want to edify them and tell the prospect how highly they have spoken about them, the prospect. That will help set a respectful tone for the call. Right. So definitely it's like, oh yeah, so-and-so, they're amazing. You're so lucky to be working with them. That's great. And I've been working with them now for years, and oh, they're amazing. And hey, let's do this, excited to have you on the team. And just that kind of thing. Right. And then, of course, we're going to posture ourselves, right, in the appropriate way. We're going to let the prospect know that we are very busy, right, and remind them that, yeah, hey, we're going to keep this short and sweet because, I do have another call coming up here in a bit. And, so let's get through it real fast and, not waste anybody's time and that kind of stuff. And people appreciate that, I think. So let's be concise and courteous, right? And then, of course, we want to show genuine interest in the prospect. So we're going to ask them questions about themselves, right? We're going to find out, okay, so just tell me real quick, where are you from? What's your background? What's your family situation? Whatever it is, right? Where do you work? All those kinds of things, right? And just get to know them, show real interest. Okay. And then of course, this will help you also to maybe adapt, the conversation a little bit to what their background is, right? So that's really cool. And then of course, you want to, remember for the promoters who are struggling to get started, right? And we have some, we have some that aren't quite doing it yet. We want to work with them and sit down with them and say, hey, you know what? I see that, you're kind of nervous about getting started. So reach out as a leader and say, let's go make a list, right? Let's, I see that you haven't signed me up yet. Let's go. Let's create a list and let's do some three-way calls together, right? Offer it, right? Because they might be introverted, right? They might be nervous about it, and they might just be scared to talk to you as their leader. And they just need that extra push. Where if you as the leader say, hey, let's do this, tomorrow, let's go call a couple of people, and then they would be willing to do it. Okay. So don't hesitate. Don't wait for for your people to call you to set those, calls up. You can initiate it. All right. So if you want to dramatically improve your success, right? You're saying that, yeah, there's actually, you're telling me there's a chance I can be successful. Well, remember, whoever does the most three-way calls wins. That's really what it comes down to. So, my friends, let's do it. Let's take these, this advice. Let's go out and start contacting people. Let's start setting up three-way calls. Let's, take the initiative. Let's overcome our fears, and let's put the burden on our upline, our leader, our sponsor, right? The person that knows it all. They brought us into this thing. So yeah, they better, be willing to work with us to make sure our new people are taken care of. And that is the bottom line. So thanks, everybody. Let's go out and get it done. We'll talk to you next Saturday. Appreciate it.